Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something truly fascinating, the deep, centuries-old cultural exchange between Tibet and India. Few relationships between civilizations run as deep as this one. Tibetans have long looked to India as a holy land. Nearly every Buddhist scripture in the Tibetan tradition opens in Sanskrit, and for generations, there's been a saying in Tibet, if you don't know Sanskrit, you are not a scholar. That reverence for the language hasn't faded. If anything, it's grown stronger over time. But here's the interesting twist. While Sanskrit is treasured in Tibet, it nearly disappeared in its own birthplace, India. As Buddhism declined there over the centuries, history has a way of circling back. When Tibetan exiles arrived in India, they brought Buddhism home again. Indian scholars are now translating Tibetan Buddhist texts back into Indian languages. And here's something remarkable. Even though only a handful of villages in India still speak Sanskrit today, it's Tibetan scholars in exile who now rank among the world's leading experts in that very language. This revival raises some big questions. Where did Indian writing really come from? How are ancient India and Tibet connected? And why do Hinduism and Jainism both consider Mount Kailash, a peak in Tibet, sacred ground? To understand that, we need a little background. Ancient India was shaped by three major groups: the Australoids, the Dravidians, and the Aryans. The Aryans in particular gave rise to Vedic culture. Vedic culture, a word rooted in knowledge, laid the foundation for Brahmanism, and eventually modern Hinduism. Now for Hindus, Kailash is one of the holiest sites on earth, believed to be the eternal meditation seat of Lord Shiva and his consort, Parvati. Surrounded by 6 mountain ranges shaped like a lotus, Kailash is often called the Pillar of the World, a striking, diamond-shaped peak rising from snow. Then there's the Ganges, a river that predates Indian civilization itself. It flows down from the Himalayas, crosses the North Indian Plain, and reaches the Bay of Bengal. Hindus believe its true source is Lake Manasarovar in Tibet. Bathing in the Ganges is said to cleanse sins and help the departed find liberation, or moksha. That's why sacred cities like Haridwar and Varanasi draw millions of pilgrims every year. Not far from Kailash sits Lake Manasarovar itself, the highest freshwater lake in the world, at over 4,500 meters. Hindu mythology says it was formed from the heart of Brahma. Devotees still circle its shores as an act of devotion, believing a dip in its waters can wash away the sins of a past life. And Kailash's influence doesn't stop there. 4 major rivers of Asia trace their origins to this one mountain, flowing outward in 4 directions. So next time you hear about the Ganges or see images of Mount Kailash, remember, these aren't just Indian or just Tibetan stories. They're threads of one shared civilization, still being rewoven today. That's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed this journey through Indo-Tibetan history, hit like, share it with a friend, and I'll see you next week.